dark or the light side? I know how old you are. I don't know if you remember the movie called Star Wars. And it was about the one guy that was in it called, there was two people, Luke Skywalker, and then it was Darth Vader, right? Luke was the upcoming budding warrior, and he was like very talented, and he was he just basically had the stuff, right? I can't remember the whole movie completely, right? But it was interesting how the series ended because although the interplay was going on between the two and so on and so on and so forth, in the end, Darth Vader, the person he was fighting, right, with the sabers, the different between the light and the darkness, is that Darth Vader at one time was from the light, right? Well, in the ending, it turns out that Luke Skywalker was Darth Vader. I'm pretty sure it's how it went. It was kind of a funny, weird, like no one expected it, right? No one expected. Went, wow, that's like whoa, right? But the thing is, Luke Skywalker was that it was developed from the story in the Bible, and the writers were basically totally inspired by the not as much the story, but the factual story of Lucifer, the one who walked in the sky, right? He was the highest, most beautiful angel, and and he fell. He fell because the day that iniquity was found in him, the iniquity that was found in him is he got too puffed up. And then he got more puffed up. He wanted to basically take the position of God. And when that wasn't bad, he already had position, right? And and even in his position, he managed to not only basically get himself kicked out of heaven by his nonsense, he drew 1/3 of the angels that were assigned to him in all his beauty to be in influence based upon God's beauty that was coming out from him. So they were basically gonna be on the trained under his influence, under what God put in him that would shine out, replicate into 1/3 of those angels, right? In the process of his fall, he didn't just fall slightly, he was kicked out like Flash, because Michael the archangel and the other angels fought against him and his angels and kicked them out. So where did they come down to earth, right? In the process of their fall, they began to deteriorate. What was once now, look, this is the thing about the fall, about anyone's fall in life. That when you are descending into the dark side, there is always the difference between you and the angels because you haven't experienced so much of heaven. God's grace is always there. Okay. That you can always stop at some point to say, God, I don't want to go further. I'm descending into the darkness and I don't like what I'm becoming. Right. Some people keep going. Some people keep going and they don't want to stop. They're fueled by a place of vengefulness, spite, jealousy, maliciousness, anger. Okay. None of these things ever makes anybody ever happy. So I don't know what is the derivative? What is the benefit of all these awful and ugly qualities that people accept so easily? I wonder for a second, go like take some time out of your life and go, oh my God, I don't want to be like this, right? In the process of so doing, and when you're fallen, you are going to take on the same type of essence of the dark spirits, and in so doing, they will join you in your fall because they like what you're becoming, and they're your environment is very, very beneficial to them. It means they can dwell around you. See, God, when God sent them down, He sent them down to the abyss, but let them roam around the earth. After they've done what they're done through generations of peoples, they leave the bodies after the people die and they roam the earth, seeking, seeking for another host to jump into. If they can't find a host, they legally they have to go to the abyss, right? So they always have to find a host. They replicate their their miserable characteristics in family lines, right? And they can create a whole lot of lying. I've seen this. I've seen this in a vision that I know one family member where I saw this vicious looking demonic entity whispering in his ears. And over the years, I was trying to figure why is he have such a vicious and an awful, venomous attitude, not only even towards me, but towards everyone else. And it's only till I saw that vision that I knew right away that he was not only descending to the dark side, he was given permission for demon to keep lying to him. And it was a very vicious looking demon. I've seen when he exhibited the level of anger out of his justifying why he needed to behave that way, the mask came off and I saw that very same demon come right through his face. It's not only shocking, it throws you right off because you're dealing with something otherworldly, not of this world, not this natural world when you're dealing with this stuff. The more we become aware of the invisible world, especially in this aspect of our existence, that we're not alone. And we are being pitted. We are being pitted, whether we like to believe it or not, between the truth and the lies. And God even says in the word, because they suppress the truth and unrighteousness, God gave them over. They suppress it. They suppress the truth in unrighteousness. And the unrighteousness that they do is those small little things they do. They're ill-mannered, they're unkind, they're indecent, they don't give a hoot of whom they behave mercilessly to. And the biggie most of all, pride gets the best of them. You put them in any kind of given situation that they would consider a talent that they have. And when they in the aspect of their talent, when they go around snubbing people and acting and behaving like they're better, and they act like they're so, like there's an air about them, they really are going down the dark side. Luke Skywalker, Lucifer, could have walked in the sky. And I don't know about you, but to look up at the sky and to see the beautiful birds and a sunny day, and there's such a sense of exhilaration that comes with it. That is a language of God. That's the and from His life given, right? When you are not of the heavens, of the sky, of what God wants you to be, like mimicking His character and His dignity and being like good nature and humble, and not taking yourself so seriously, and being really just being a very easy person to be around. I'm not saying a pushover, but a very easy person, especially if you're a very good natured and kind person. You have the sensitivity that if something's not right with somebody, you can you're just in in you're in tune with heaven, that you can go and help that person. You be a comforting to another person. Not so with these people. They're so vindictive and despicable that they make it very impossible, near to impossible, for any given place they are to feel good. They leave a stench of heaviness wherever they are. They have a way of complicating something very simple, and they love the power. They love to be in the superior position where they get to tell you stuff. They even go as far, which is really disturbing. They'll go as far to try to turn your narrative wrong about stuff you've done in your life, that they somewhat was responsible for it. Which is like, you kind of like, you go, okay, this is psycho. This is like right next to psycho. Right? This person needs to be put away for a while, right? But these things are real. To take the descent to the dark side, it is really serious, because it comes to the point where Jesus, he met one guy, and it does happen, and I've somewhat experienced it. The weird people, even through the small little inklings of being so embittered and so disgusting in so many ways, they get taken over by more than one spirit, and they get taken down by, or taken over by legions, which is like close to 1,000 evil spirits. When they get to that point, it's demonic possession. And a lot of times they will be fooled. I mean, they'll do things. You've seen people taking on places in their life where they want to destroy themselves. They try and destroy other people. Even people when they want to get medical assisted suicide and all this other stuff, and they take themselves down with taking in too much drugs and alcohol. All these things are the descent to the dark side, when they don't care anymore. And that's probably the main crux of the descent, is when they stop caring. There's so much that's going to happen to you in your life. And yeah, I trust that a lot of it is going to be good. But there's so much that's going to happen. And in the majority of the things that are going to happen, you're going to be realizing you're living a very imperfect and a very wicked, and at the same time, a very amazing world, dependent upon what you allow and what is already also being allowed in your life. So you're given the option in how you're going to respond. And you're not called to be of God's power, because you don't really have a lot of it. But if you are dependent upon God to give you the power to not respond in bitterness, to not respond in anger, you'll fail, but not all the time. Even if you can have a heated blow up situation with somebody, and you wish them the worst thing ever because you're just so angry at them, that how could they be so disgusting? You just wish, you wish what you wish for them, because the pain that they inflicted, you wish it would stop, and they're the ones doing it, so you just wish harm for them. But there's a big difference, people who wish harm for people, not because of anything else, but because they just wish harm for people. They're very dangerous. But there's people who will do it out of temptation. The Bible says that woe to those who cause one of these little ones to stumble. You do it out of sheer frustration and anger, or even defending yourself, right? But if you can turn around after the fact, and you go before God and you apologize for what you did, how you behaved, how you reacted, and you ask God to pull anything that you have said to them away from them, because you know deep down inside you only wish well for other people, you are never ever going to descend to the dark side. Darkness is absent of light and of God. And it is such a warning. Once the descent begins, and where you end, it could be the final call for how you'll end up. And people end up from a point of their life in the dark side, positioned and in their position until they pass. And the passing is damnation. So this is a warning, and this is also an encouragement. It's never ever too late, but it can become too late when you make up your mind that you don't care no more. So you have a good day and do like and subscribe. Thank you.